I thought you might like that. So look, I'm just going to do a little test now because I'm really intrigued. Is it Nurtio that you're cheering for? Okay. Or is it Elaser that you're cheering for? Okay. All right. Okay. Well, good news because we've got both of them playing this afternoon right here in the theatre and Katowice and trying to make their way through to the semi-finals. Tomorrow, of course, the semis and the final will be in the Spodek Arena. It's going to be very cool. I've already seen the stage. It looks fantastic in there. But we've still got 4 quarterfinals to get through. The first one is going to be an absolutely crazy game between 2 men we know very well. It's a Frenchman going up against a Korean. Before we get there, though, let's check in with our men at the desk once more. Sean, are you there?
This time I'm here. What's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the quarterfinals. Looking forward to this.
Well, you were there last time, too.
I was there last time, too. Not prepared to be there, but I am there. Let's have a look at the brackets. 8 players remain in the Intelstream Masters, and they are here. Polt, FireCake, Huck, Nurtio, Violet Snoot, and Hydra Laser. How many Zergs?
6 of 8.
6
Too
Zergs.
No, I got it.
Views from the 6.
I want to ask you guys, based off of these results, I mean, are Zergs doing pretty okay? They're doing all right?
It could have been better, though.
What a
You know
coincidence.
what? Could have been 8 out of 8.
Yeah, there's still a Terran, there's still a Protoss. I don't really see the
Not
issue
for
here.
much longer. This next round's going to eliminate them. But this is the best 8 players of this tournament. They've made it through. 6 of them do play Zerg, as we can see. But this is going to be an interesting one because Jeff, of course, is a fanatic for Zerg versus Zerg games, as we just saw with that past game.
I eat them up. I love it.
I mean,
every time those Ravagers just like, shoot their vomit up in the air, I'm just like, oh, man. Yes! Where will it land?
I mean, I can't do this. I mean, it is really important that Jeff is here because Dario already said, it's lacking a little bit when it comes to the Zerg experts,
that's true.
and that's why we brought Jeff in.
Yeah.
Nate's got Terran covered. I do my best with Protoss.
And Jeff's got
we
Zerg.
needed someone for
Right.
Zerg, and that's when Jeff really steps up to the task.
And for people that aren't aware, Dario on Twitter was talking about his series, and he said, well, one of the reasons why it was a little bit confusing is because we didn't have any Zerg experts up here, and it's the second I heard that. I knew.
Yeah,
I knew. I wasn't sleeping that night. I was going to be reading everything Zerg, so the first thing I did is I grabbed the StarCraft novel, I read the lore, I played the single player, and I feel like at this point in time, I have what it takes to cover Zerg.
Well, hopefully you can, because our first game of the quarterfinals does have a Zerg player in it, and we'll get back to you on that, Jeff.
Good.
Polt,
I'm here.
though, on the other side of things. Talk to me about it. This guy's a championship quality player, obviously. He's won multiple tournaments before, and he never fails, really, when it comes to this. Obviously, he does here and there.
You know, the thing about Polt is that we could take the same speech spiel that we've made about him from pretty much any tournament in the last year.
And it applies
It's
here,
just like,
too.
just going to get out my Walkman, we put in the speech from 1999. He's like, yeah, well, Polt's been pretty good, but he's not as great as he was, but he's going to win anyway because he's Polt, so... Like, that's just kind of what we expect. Like, I feel like the storyline here really has to be his opponent stepping up to the plate because I expect Polt to play a solid series.
Yeah.
He just doesn't really mess up when there's a lot on the line. That's the problem. Like,
I think it's even funny you say that, Nate, because I think we had this exact conversation
Every time.
one year ago in Poitiers. The same quarterfinals, FireCake against Polt. Can we just replay a clip from 2015? So we've got a couple minutes on. It's like Polt's been good, but he's not the invincible Polt once upon a time. FireCake is looking really good right now. Looked good in 2015 too. Still looking good, but it's still Polt, guys. So
those Korean genes, man, it ages so well. You know what I mean?
yeah.
it is really cool though to see these guys in the quarterfinals again. It's a big rematch. Back then it was a 3-0 victory.
Yeah.
I remember the game on Catalina. That one really stood out. That was like, FireCake's gonna do it, guys. The crowd is getting ready to cheer, and then Polt's just like, he just refused to die. He just never died in standard Polt fashion. Back then he won 3-0, but it should be closer to.
I mean,
different now.
To play the other side of this though, FireCake has developed a lot in those 12 months though too, right? So
absolutely,
definitely expecting a stronger and a better fight from him. And hopefully to see another, non-Zerg get eliminated, to be honest.
And to go further on that, there are there are a lot better tools that FireCake can make use of in Legacy of the Void. Obviously, if the game goes really long, Zerg has a definite advantage against bio play. Polt loves to stick to that. He doesn't like switching out as much as other guys. So if he can go through a long game with Ultras, I think he can work well. But he's also shown weakness earlier in this tournament to Roach Ravager as well.
And of course, we must remember that the winner of this plays in Spodek, and that is the bottom line here. For now, until you get obviously playing towards the seed to the global finals. But a massive opportunity for one of these two. Polt, obviously a massive fan favorite, but FireCake would be a big moment for him in his career. Probably his biggest, to be fair.
Last French player.
Yeah,
by the way.
last French player holding
FireCake
Fetch Flame.
FireCake has been really consistent as well. It's something that we start to mention a little bit more now, but it's not this one tournament spike anymore that he's currently undergoing. Like, no, ever since Legacy of the Void came out, you know, DreamHack in Stockholm, he did really well. Or the one in Winter, excuse me, Jan Shopping, I think it was. But then Home Story Cup made it all the way to the finals. He even beat MMA in that tournament, I think, in the round of 16. So he's really good.
Yeah.
But it's still Paul, and if you're going to ask me to make a prediction,
Yes,
We
I
are.
am. Yes,
There's
I
no
am.
if. It's now.
Right now.
Do it.
Do it!
Do it.
3-2 FireCake. Let's just go with the upset one time. One time.
3-2 FireCake.
I'm going to ask you that off camera again in a minute.
If we just make FireCake's, if FireCake's chances of winning are equal to the percentage of Zergs in this tournament, then he has a good chance. But he's against Polt, and whenever you doubt him, he usually makes you look like a fool. So I'm going to go Polt, probably 3-1.
Okay.
Okay, well, you just doubted him. You thought he was going to lose the game. So with my prediction, I'm going to go. I'm going to be honest with you. I got that. I got it again.
Something in the air.
It's right here. It's
Did
not
you eat something weird
No,
before you came up here?
It's not a six-pack. It's something. It's a feeling, and the feeling is telling me. Which, by the way, pay attention, because I'm going to be 2 for 2 on this. I promise you. It's FireCake 3-2.
All right.
3-1 maybe even.
There you go.
It might be a 3. It's a 3-1. It's a 3-1, honestly.
2 out of the 3 of these guys believe it's going to be a FireCake victory. Let us know what you think at home by, of course, including the hashtag IEM. But it is time to go to the stage with Red Eye to bring out the 2 players.
Yes, thank you very much, Sean. We are down on the main stage, ready for the first game of the quarterfinals of WCS Winter Championship and, of course, the Intel Extreme Masters here in Katowice. These 2 players have met before. As you've heard already from our analysts, it was a very one-sided affair last time round, and one man's determined to switch that one around. One has 3 championships to his name already in WCS alone, and he wants a 4th. This is just another hurdle to get over. Please welcome our 2 quarterfinalists from our first match. It is a fabulous matchup. It's Polt and FireCake! Good luck, have fun. And as they go to their booths, we'll go to our commentators for game number 1 of the quarterfinals.
G'day guys, hello again. The WCS Winter Championship Intel Extreme Masters Katowice is going into the round of 8. How are you feeling about that, Muslim?
I'm feeling good, and you nailed that. But yeah, we're going into Polt against FireCake here, man. Like, both are really good, and I love that the analyst desk, without me having to bring it up about FireCake, given that he is my teammate here, so I'm a little bit biased, but he's been absolutely amazing in Legacy of Void. In Heart of the Swarm, he had a bit of a bad rap for making one of the longest games in history, which
Swarmhost.
Yeah, was against Mana. Swarmhost went away, and FireCake was having a lot of trouble, actually, and was very vocal about, man, can't play the game anymore. But then Legacy of the Void coming out, and it really benefiting the aggressive player, despite learning Swarmhost style so well for so long. He turned into an aggressive machine, and man, he reaped the rewards.
He did indeed, but that said, even though FireCake, your teammate, the one that you're not biased for, has been improving quite a bit, so has Polt, and that is a scary thought in itself. This guy, I mean, both of them actually smacked their opponents in the round of 32 and the round of 16, so both of them definitely have that momentum. But it's like immovable object, unstoppable force, that kind of thing going down here. And this guy, like Red Eye mentioned in his introduction, a multiple premier challenger and, sorry, a premier champion. And he is my pick to make it all the way to the grand final. Yes, he is the only Terran remaining, but I'm saying it right here, right now. I am feeling this guy's going to make it all the way to the grand final.
A little bit of my Terran pride definitely lies with Polt too. Yes, he's the last Terran remaining in this tournament, but for good reason. He is so darn good. And one thing about Polt always, he seems to be the last Terran standing in a lot of tournaments he goes up in. I remember there was a period of time back in Heart of the Swarm, he was the only Terran that could like put up a fight against Protoss at the time, and he did it so well. He even made the matchup look imbalanced in Terran's favor. And FireCake, here he is sitting cool. In fact, both these guys, a bit older in age.
Yeah.
Very experienced though, are they both?
Yeah, both very tournament experience, plenty of online and plenty of offline, which is the big factor here. Lots of offline experience for both of these players. And yeah, you're right, they're so calm and collected, and it's not a surprise when you see the last 8 players remaining to see them be the veterans, the ones that have been around for a while, the ones that have taken their job extremely seriously and are used to this situation.
Certainly. And Polt, man, like they talk about those 3 WCS victories, and I think about some of the players that he's had to scale through, like the Tasias of the world, the Team Liquid Heroes of the world, and he's done it in really good fashion too. FireCake, on the other hand, he hasn't yet got a Grand Slam to his name. He's been so close. DreamHack Winter, he came 3rd. Home Story Cup, he came 2nd. He actually beat MMA halfway through the tournament, but did fall in the final. But here, could this be one of his tournaments?
Well, at the moment, FireCake has not yet posted a result versus Polt. If you look at their match history versus together,
No wins.
You know what? No wins. But you know what? I think that there might be a bit of a change in the wind, Muslim, but will it be enough to take the series?
I tell you what, whenever you have an absolutely losing record against a player, that plays into your head a lot.
Well, we'll see how it goes as this map starts to unfold. In the North spawn here, the Frenchman. This is FireCake. And in the bottom spawn, Captain America himself. This is Polt.
Oh, your voice is legendary, Maynard. And here we see the crowd. A lot of people cheering for Polt here, and rightly so. That guy's been around for a long time, but he has all the characteristics of a champion. He's good looking, and man, he's a nice guy.
We had the distinct honor and privilege of being able to cast Daishi and Polt together, and I said it during that cast, and I still believe it. He played like a champion, which is why I feel he's going to go all the way to final. Will he take it, though? Depends on who he sees on the other side.
Wow, I'm already looking at Polt's build and going for a CC first in Legacy of the Void. Totally skipping that barracks. That's already a bit of an odd move.
Yeah, going for greed here, a very risky move, like you mentioned in Legacy of the Void. I mean, well, not a risky move, but I guess you lose that early game knowledge of what the Zerg is doing. You don't have that Reaper, you don't pressure, you don't force a reaction. You let the Zerg sort of have his side of the map for a while.
Now, yeah, if we just think about Polt's reasoning here, this map's huge. Like, as far as the crow flies, your bases spawn pretty much as far as on any map away from one another, and you know it's guaranteed. Also, Vikings play a very, very big role on this map, denying vision into the main. So by the time FireCake actually knows what's going on, he's already going to have his build set in place, set in stone. So he could have decided to go for like 3 hatch before pool. That'd have been exceptionally greedy, and against any Reaper opening, you're in trouble. But nice build choice by Polt. This is a good map to do it on.
Yeah, absolutely. And as your regular Zerg, sending 6 Zerglings across the map to have a look, and Polt's wall's going to be done. He's going to have units be able to shoo them away. He can repair if he absolutely needs to, but I don't know if that'll happen. We'll see. He actually hasn't completed his wall just yet, and the Zerglings are nearly here.
I tell you what, though, these Zerglings could actually deal quite some
damage.
Yeah, they could. Oh, the Marine comes out too, so he's checking for that proxy hatch,
no, oh, God, yeah, he does not made any wall off whatsoever, and he has to deal with 6 Lings in the main. How did this happen?
This is not a good situation for Polt, and pulling off the line at any point, even if he doesn't really lose SCVs at this point in time, and Polt's microing well, as is FireCake, but the mining, look at that mining being shown to us by Funker here.
Yeah, we can see the difference in income at the moment, with a lot of the SCVs being in the battle and not doing their job.
Very clean Zergling micro, just picking off his 2 SCVs so far. Yes, these Zerglings will fall, but that was a lot of lost mining and 2 SCVs falling too. Good start for FireCake.
I mean, you know, 2 SCVs, but the main thing is, like you said, denying the mining time, and that is damage. Absolutely.
And we're talking about direct damage here. The indirect damage is FireCake got to see absolutely everything that was going on there. He got to see the 2 barracks. He knows it's a CC first now. And within regards to where his buildings are placed, when you're a Terran, you usually build your further tech structures, the ones that you can swap at least with your original barracks, just so you can swap for add-ons and what have you. But Polt here, going for a very, very quick stim. Unusual, but Polt's always been one of those guys that's been known for Hellbat pushes with Marauders. In fact, that could be something we do see here from Polt.
Well, it might be pretty handy against what we're seeing out of FireCake, which is going to be Roach Tech. Roach Ravager, obviously a lot of players, a lot of the Zergs in Europe like that in ZVT. And FireCake.
Whoa. 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 He's just stepped it up a notch. Is he misreading this possibly? Because Polt's build, he's going to get out a lot of units pretty darn quickly. And usually you want to do a Nidus play against some guy that's really taken up. But as you can see, he is going to have a lot of units out very, very soon.
Yeah, once they come out, I mean, obviously the Nidus and Legacy of Void will survive until it pops out of the ground, no matter how many units you have, but it can be DPS down before the all-important Queens come out for those transfuses and all that sort of business. Yeah, Liberator, and actually Liberators are quite decent against Nidus Worms if they're out in time.
And we look at the supplies here, Maynard, they're very close. Usually if you're a Zerg... Oh, whoa!
Oh, right there, right on top of the production.
That is...
That's bold.
Does he even know it's here? Now he does. He definitely does, pulling off every SCV off the line here.
Yeah, and the Overseer nearly goes down, but he's going to have to concentrate on this Nidus Worm. The Queens did come out. He doesn't have enough for a transfuse, though.
Oh, wait, is he still dealing a lot of damage? I mean, Polt surrounded that, killed it very quickly. Only 3 SCVs down right now. All the Hellions
7.
are dead, sure. But this Liberator, where is that? Oh, it's planting on the new Nidus. He's really going for it here, is FireCake.
Yeah, I think he's forced to make this work at this point. It's a very big investment, and that Nidus gets completely shut down. The first one did do damage. He's lost 8 SCVs, a lot of denied mining time, but it's really just equal workers, as Funk is showing us right now. There's a large income difference because the SCVs aren't back mining yet, but they will be now.
I mean, if we think about that economically, that was a bad situation for Polt. He had to fight with those SCVs for a long period of time, and despite FireCake's all-in attempt failing, it was still a lot of lost mining time, so he's not totally out of the game here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's another example of indirect damage, and we see a Spire transition here for FireCake. And will that come into play? We'll see. Polt doesn't have a whole ton of units heading across the map with a Hellion to see what he can see. Maybe if he scouts a Spire tech.
Oh, you know, he scouts the Spy tech, and he's going to see that the third is so late. So Polt just going to gear up. He knows he's in no rush. He doesn't have to rush and deal damage and make mistakes.
Yeah. He's happy to be on 2 base if the Zerg is a third is only just going down now.
Oh, and a cheeky Hellion got a single drone kill there.
Oh, wow.
This is where things get
He doesn't
really
want to sit
choppy.
back at all.
Yeah, no, like these 2 medevacs, I love the fact that he's moving out on the map. You're against Roaches only. There's going to be nothing really stopping these medevacs. And he still has that Liberator on the field. Where that Liberator goes, this is a big deal. Does he go behind the third? Does he go behind the main? Does he use it in sync with these medevacs? Who knows? I mean, a lot of damage can be done from Polt right now, and FireCake has to be very, very careful.
That's right. He has the mobility of the medevacs. FireCake aware of this as he flies past the Overlords, heading towards that front expansion.
FireCake very well prepared with his Roaches
too much
far.
position there. And
Even at the natural.
Yeah, the back natural here, which I guess is his third in this particular game, but a lot of bio gets out and it has stim.
That's a lot of bio, and the Liberator hasn't yet got to work anyway, which is kind of surprising, but this hatchery does look like it
I
won't
think he
be
can
able
burn it down.
Does he cancel it? Does he cancel it?
No! He doesn't let it cancel, so it's going to finish, and that is a kill right here.
Wow, Polt, he's making things happen here. Another Nidus attempt.
Oh, okay. Well, he has some units at home. It's not a whole ton of units. I don't know where the Liberator is either, but this Nidus could actually potentially do a lot of damage to Polt.
Oh.
As he's done quite a bit to FireCake.
Look at this drone damage. This Nidus, 3 roaches.
Just 3 roaches, no queens, nothing like that. He can't keep it alive. I mean, the Mutas are taking out some medevacs, which is nice, but FireCake's really had his momentum stopped here by Polt. 16 drone kills. Polt up 20 workers on the Zerg. That's horrible for FireCake.
It's always harsh casting a teammate that's currently getting manhandled, but that is exactly what's happening. Polt recovered from the situation, and did he even recover? He had a Nidus Worm planted on him, and strategically, it wasn't the right choice by FireCake. He was up against the build that was meant to have a lot of units out very, very quickly, and Polt, he's adapted so well to FireCake.
The Muta's coming in here, taking a bit of splash damage from the Liberator. They do get it, but I'm not sure if they want to dive too deep. That's a lot of stem Marines here.
Yeah, certainly not. Marines are made to deal with Mutas. The upgrades are incoming for Polt too, so time is on his side. He's even got a 3rd CC up on point.
And he feels comfortable enough to break off another chunk of units for a drop. Units in the 3rd as well. And look at this, we've got a Terran with a 3rd finished CC with a Zerg not even finished his 3rd hatch yet.
This is really nice Mutalist Caress actually by FireCake. So 3 workers down, even bypassing this turret here, still dealing a lot of damage. And this is one of the nice things about Dust Towers. You can hop from the natural to the third consistently.
Absolutely right, and I mean, if anything that FireCake has is going to be able to get him back into this game, it is going to be the Mutalisks. Unfortunately, they aren't back here for this dropship, which is heading towards our freshly finished third. Once again, it might be just out of vision. He'd be within vision in second here as he stems in. See how much he can get done.
Oh, these Marines, they're just kind of baiting those drones almost, and Polt moves in. Nice reaction by FireCake, but Polt, he's all over at this point in time. He's ahead in supply. These drones, what are they doing?
They're still mining, and he's losing drones as well as possibly the hatchery. Looks like FireCake actually doesn't have any units.
Oh man, 14 SCVs died, sure, but that was a lot of effort to get them, whereas Polt just lands in this one drop, and he's going to get the hatchery as well.
Yeah, that's devastating for FireCake here. Losing that hatchery again. He's in the Stone Age as far as income goes, tech goes, everything. He's stuck on roaches against so much thin Marines.
Oh, the drop in the back forced the drones to be pulled off mining, and Polt is here with a huge amount of Marines, and despite being supply capped for quite some time, he has enough units to just murder FireCake at this point in time.
Absolutely. What a dominating game number 1 here from the Korean Terran. The Mutas are coming in, but that is not going to work out. GG. Polt gets game number 1.
That was smooth and easy for him, and FireCake, I think he totally misread the situation. When you see those two barracks over Terran with a CC first, the game is very, very different. And how often do you play against a Terran that goes CC first? Honestly, on Europe, I can tell you, not many Terrans open like that. So in FireCake's head, all that practice that he did, all that practice against those Reaper openings and what have you, it just accounted for nothing in that game, and he read it totally wrong.
I mean, it was kind of nice to get those Lings in at least, because he did do a little bit of damage. He forced a pull off. He got to see all the tech. But like you said, he got in there and he had a look and possibly read it wrong, because he decided to go for a Nidus after seeing a very strong, like signs of a strong economy on the way with a lot of production structures.
One of the really cool things about Nidus is if your opponent's going 1-1-1, but he's switching for the Hellions and he's making Hellions, the barracks is pretty much rendered useless.
Between the switches.
Right.
Yeah.
At most, it's going to be producing like one Marauder at a time, but who produces Marauders early game in ZVT these days? I can tell you, not many people. Marines are better against Ravagers. And so the Nidus Worm is a direct counter to that Hellion build when you're only building Marines. And I think that's what FireCake was hoping for, but the two barracks, like despite Hellions being made in this game, it was actually two barracks, one with a reactor, one with a tech lab, full on going for Stim, and then the Liberator as well. It was the perfect build for Polt against FireCake.
And the perfect game 1 for Polt as well. Very, very one-sided. You know, I am singing Polt's praises here, and like I said, I feel like he's going to be in the grand final. But I have a belief here. With FireCake showing lately, like you said, getting a lot better, I think he's at least going to get a couple maps in this series. I don't, like, at least a map. Hopefully a couple, because you know me, I wanted to go to 5 games every single time. More StarCraft is always the best.
You know what? I'm going to talk really good about FireCake here.
Talk really good,
It's not even biased. First round of the tournament, he's against Serral. Serral has been doing exceptionally well. And Serral
Bumped him 3-0.
Yeah, and Serral beat him 3-0, like, not a month ago, or in fact, maybe a month ago at DreamHack Leipzig. Then in the next round, he loses the first map to Haas. So this is how FireCake does it, man. He loses the first map, gets to read his opponent. And that's what he talked about in the interview, too. He needed a game to get to know his opponent. And all the great players do. So now that he knows him a little bit, he knows, hey, this guy's builds are a little kooky.
Also, because Polt played in the round of 32, and the VODs may be up for him to see, he could have actually seen that game from Polt against Lambo.
Totally, but they were hidden behind base trade, although they did release their videos.
Yeah, so
for the next 24 hours.
As far as I know, I think so.
Totally did. They totally
did.
So I mean, on that stuff.
So I mean, he has those research materials. He's seen Polt's TvZ if he chooses to.
To really get to know a player, you have to play him in the game. You know,
that's right.
You never, like, no matter how much you watch people, until you really play them, you get a true feel of who they are and how they play.
Well, he's getting a feel of it now, and I doubt it feels very good.
It wasn't a good feeling. Polt definitely savaged him that game. And here is FireCake, and you see, whenever a player's kind of adjusting a keyboard or whatever you mid-series, I always get a little worried for them. Shows that they're a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, possibly, but his face is stone cold. Face of a killer. Can he kill Polt? In the bottom left here, from France, this is FireCake. And the top left, one up in the series currently, this is Polt.
Both looking very cool and calm, actually. But Ulrina, this is the map in question. And is this a map that you can go CC first on? Well, if you did, I would... I'd book you an early grave, you know. It is a very, very close spawning map and very risky.
And Roach Ravagers have been pretty prevalent on this one as well, giving Terrans a lot of bad times. We have seen some different ZVT on Ulrina. I mean, first series of the day, we saw a pretty interesting, like we didn't expect to see it, but it was a lot of Lings, Mutas, that sort of thing. When you're expecting a heavy ground force, it was Snoot versus...
Massa.
Yeah, when Snoot played Massa earlier.
That was a really close game, actually, and it was a sad loss for Massa as he looked...
He decided to mech.
Sometimes we make mistakes.
Yeah, we make mistakes from time to time. I doubt Polt's going to do that, do mech on this map. He's a very much a bio player. He has, even when mech was kind of like the thing to do.
You're stealing the words right out of my mouth. Yeah,
Sorry.
Even when mech was a thing to do, Polt was like, nah, I really like bio, and I'm really good at bio. Polt's always been able to throw two armies around the map simultaneously and seemingly micro them better than anybody else with one army. Anyhow, this game, how's it open up? This is a little bit more standard from our Terran here. Polt opting for a Reaper. Going for an SCV Scout too. Now, that is very safe, but I wouldn't say overly safe on this map. And now, this hatchery is also late. He goes to the spawning pool first, then the hatchery. So, FireCake's build is a little odd, but on a map like this, you can also get 3 racks. You can get 2 racks. There's a lot of things that Terran can do to a Zerg, so I don't blame him either.
Yeah, Mass Reaper certainly was a thing on this map when it when this ladder pool first came about at the first season of the year.
Even a solid cheeky 3 racks Marine Rush.
Yeah, that exists and it still does.
It's really good on this map. Anyhow, Polt does kind of scout what's going on. Didn't scout Roach Warren, and he's actually playing rather careful with his Reaper. I love that because if the Lings ran around the map and bypassed that SCV, they could have potentially cancelled this CC building. So Polt, exceptionally careful here. Now he harasses with his Reaper, and really, this just wants vision. This just wants knowledge.
Oh, the drone is actually tagging it, and he definitely doesn't want to
the
pick
bravest
that fight.
Drone of all time.
And he actually needs to go back to creep. Otherwise, oh,
that was close. Yeah, what a drone thinking he can take on a Reaper.
I'll take on a Reaper off creep. This is the bravest drone ever. Will he actually live? No, he gets picked off. Little early damage there. Losing a drone to a Reaper is kind of a a pretty not so great thing in the early game.
It was all bait, Maynard. He just wanted to kill that Reaper with the Queens. And now, no vision.
Yeah, and actually, on the other side, losing your Reaper straight away is pretty bad as well. Oh, 16 Lings on the way with an Evo chamber as well. Oh, now FireCake's going for another cheeky build here.
Now, whenever I watch FireCake, usually, he's very good at macro. So the fact that he's totally... Oh! Okay, you know what he's getting ready for?
Drops.
Queens, Lings, you name it. Absolutely everything is going to go into Polt's base here. And the reason I'm getting so excited, I told him about this build weeks ago. I was like, mate, you have to look at this. But this is very scary. He shouldn't have these Lings out on the map because if they are spotted by Polt, he's going to instantly know what's up. But there's no bunker in the main.
Oh.
There's no bunker in the main. How's Polt going to stop this?
This actually could work to Muslim. This looks very, very tough to stop. That's a lot of speedlings in those overlords with queens as well. And in they come. They're taking a very direct route into the main here. And Polt's static defense is not going to be too helpful. I mean, unless he drops in the natural.
No. This tank got surrounded by queens, Maynard. The bunker, yeah, it's going to get repaired soon, but all the SVs have died.
And they're coming down from the main to help out, but the bunker is going to go down, and FireCake finds himself in a position where he's doing incredible damage to the Korean Terran here.
Oh man, these SVs, they cannot kill those queens to save their lives. And look, he just picks up, he's going to go follow that medevac into the main.
I've got my own medevacs.
Oh,
they go.
Man.
And he's all over the production of Polt. It looks like FireCake may have tied this series.
There is way too much FireCake in the base of Polt right now. Queens being used aggressively. That is so many Lings in his base. I don't think Polt can do this at GG.
GG. The Frenchman FireCake has tied it up, one apiece.
Wow. Told you I believed, man. 2 games. Equally as convincing wins for either opponent.
Yeah, that was just the right build order choice from FireCake against what Polt was doing.
I'm team captain, man.
You actually, that's your win. That's your win, mate.
I'm going to claim it.
Yeah,
even though I have no right to being here, playing. But no, that was a really nice build order choice. And one thing that was very fortunate, there was no Hellions to deal with the Lings, and Polt had absolutely no idea. Yes, killing that drone was cool. It was a nice little moral victory, but losing that Reaper to the Queens, I think FireCake's plan was already set in motion, so the fact that the Reaper had no chance of seeing what was going to go on, that was a really nice move by him.
Yeah, some very, very powerful fromage here.
Hey, from the French do make it good, you know.
They do. The French make the best fromage.
What a way to start off a series by FireCake. 2 cheeses in a row. The Nidus all in. Then the Queen Ling drop on Arena. I love it when players play maps.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do too. Like, and playing maps and also playing the man. Like, that's also very important if you have very good knowledge of who you're up against. But is this going to be one of those series where Polt just defends cheese?
I don't think so.
Because you said FireCake is a very strong macro player. You're very confident in his macro abilities.
He's very good at macro. One thing that he's very good at, though, is blind countering people, but it's not so blind when you know they're going to do it. He's a very, very smart player, actually. If you look in a lot of his games, he seems to have the right build or the right choice of units, the right way to move around the map. It's one thing that a lot of StarCraft players think, hey, it's about the fastest guy, right? No, in fact, both these players prove it isn't about being the fastest. Being a smart guy, too, gets you a long way. It gets you to the top 8, but will it get you to the top 4 at WCS?
Will it indeed? Love you, too! Sorry if that's your boyfriend next to you, by the way. I'll take it back.
And you're engaged.
And I am engaged. I'm an absolute scumbag.
No, we love you here, Maynard.
And I love the Polish crowd. They are wonderful. Hope you guys are having a great time out there. It's been pretty good so far. The round of 8's begun. It's heating up. The games get better and better as it tends to go in tournaments. And it's Spottek tomorrow.
Hype, hype, hype.
Hype, hype, hype.
By the way, this is the first time I've looked at Polt and he hasn't looked easy. I love looking at the players. And
you do. You just like looking at people.
Hey, if they're handsome, they're all... it's lovely looking at them. But how they have their keyboards, having their mouse or mice. But it's lovely seeing the composure of the players between the games. You can really tell a lot. And Polt's a guy that, yeah, we talked about, yeah, he's got good composure. But the fact that he started off this series and this guy's just throwing cheese at him, that really will unsettle you for the rest of the series. Because normally you like to cut as many corners as you can with in regards to being as greedy as you possibly can. That's the way that StarCraft works, but right now, the cards that FireCake showed is saying, hey, if you take any corners against me, I'm just going to shut you down.
Yes, indeed. Not very long. And yes, I also love that guy. Absolutely 100%.
And that guy, and that guy,
and that guy,
all of
everybody out there. So we, I mean, we cannot wait for game number 3, and it will be any second now. Polt is, yeah, like you said, it's twitching a little bit. Maybe the cracks are beginning to show between the steely exterior of this absolute beast.
I love watching Polt, by the way. He's always one of those players that you will watch him, you'll see one of the most standard things ever. But then when you try it, you'll just get absolutely overrun because you don't have the control or the patience to do what he does. But it's always nice seeing what he thinks is the absolute safest thing that he can get away with. But is he going to be able to do that against this young man over here?
Yeah, this young man, which, like you said, prepares very, very well. It's not a blind counter if you know what's going on.
Certainly not. And FireCake also, he's one of the players that has a pretty decent win ratio against Korean players.
He does.
He doesn't get worse. He doesn't get better. He's just pretty darn good against everybody.
That's a pretty sick cheerful just there. I saw the Polt one. Yeah, that was pretty well done.
Polt, certainly a great player.
Absolutely. I think there's a pretty amazing upset if FireCake takes this series, and it looks like
he's in
and the spamming. Sorry?
It looks like he's in game, certainly pressing control.
Yeah, I was gonna
1,
say,
2, 3.
It looks like we're in game here on Central Protocol for map number 3. In the top right here, winning the last game and tying it up. This is FireCake. Feels like he might be winning some fans as well.
And rightly so with that Queen Ling drop.
What a cheeky boy. Oh, and in the bottom left, this is Polt.
He still has a lot of fans, though.
He does. There was a clap build-up for him.
Man, I'd do a clap build-up if the mic wasn't so close to my hands over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, Central Protocol, cross map. Barracks going down, gas shortly after. Again, one of the most standard builds Terran can do right now against Zerg, at least for the opening. You get a Reaper out on the map, you can pick off Lings, you can know when they're going to put down a third, you can find out what tech they do. Honestly, there's no reason not to go Reaper early on. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Things. Marine Lord, is that you? But no, second rack's on the way. So if this was Marine Lord, this would be 3. Oh, as I say it.
As you live and breathe.
As I say it.
Here we go.
Oh, gosh.
Bam.
Wow, okay. Now, one of the nice things for FireCake is...
He would have faced this before.
if you play on European ladder at high MMR, you've played Marine Lord. So that means you have practice, but does that mean you're good at it?
Well, he also has to deal with some of the fastest hands in the business, and that is Polt. Pretty amazing control that he's shown us through pretty much his entire career. And we can see that it is going to be 3 racks Reaper, an extremely strong build, or used to be a lot stronger against Zergs, but Zergs have gotten a lot better at dealing with it lately.
There's different ways of... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, my. Getting the Roach Warren so early. Does he smell it? Does he think, like, oh, I've cheesed my opponent twice, he's definitely going to cheese me now? Either way, it's the right call.
Like you said, he's faced Marine Lord on this map. He has a feeling. He's got that feeling similar to Jeff in Control Robinson. He can pull those things from the air, like out of the ether, and just know what's going on. It's called Star Sense, and it's something I wish I had.
Me too, Maynard. Me too.
Win a lot more games.
Anyhow, so getting the Roach Warren up. That's only half the battle. He has seen a Reaper on the map. If he's okay. Okay, now this doesn't signify that it is exactly 3 barracks going, but the fact that he's seen 2 and a Reaper pop out, he knows he has to get units out. So great, great, great start for FireCake here, and he's not overcommitted to drones. He's getting roaches.
Yeah, with 4 roaches already on the way and the Queen's pumping out as well, it's definitely looking like he's going to have enough tools to be able to deal with these Reapers.
One thing you do want to make sure of is if your roaches take damage, you want to get out, or in fact, you do want to get out a Ravager very, very quickly because they have more range. But one of the bad things about Ravagers, they have less health as well. And once a Ravager is formed, it can't form into anything else and get all its health back. So these Roaches, he's going to try and use them as best as he can. And if one gets low, just turn it into a Ravager, mate.
Just do it, mate. So we see that we got a whole cluster of Reapers at the front here. FireCake holding that ramp. He's completely aware of these Reapers with the Overlord over the top here, and Polt is already transitioning.
Whoa, okay, this is strange, but I like it because most Terrans would continue making Reapers frivolously, whereas he's already adapting. And these Overlords, he knew they would take a long time to get into his base. So vision-wise, FireCake's not really going to know what his opponent's doing. He's going to assume it's even more Reapers. But FireCake's reading this really well. He's not over-roaching at this point in time. And in fact, I think he only had 2 guys on gas, 4 roaches. He's still droning while this is going on.
Yeah, not too bad. So, I mean, if he was making only roaches at this point, if he was that scared, it would definitely be much better for Polt. But he got it to the mineral line, and he's getting drone kills now.
I was so worried for those drones. There were so many stacked up there. Any bombs could have really done him in. But these Reapers, he isn't going to get away scot-free. And nice focus fire. Oh, yes, nice focus fire by those roaches.
So battered away here by FireCake. A few Reapers still alive, but the transition is underway with a 3rd CC. FireCake hasn't dived with that Overlord yet for a look. And there's some damaged drones here. More drone damage. Is FireCake going to let him get away with this?
I don't think he is, and he can't let him get away with this. But in fact, those Reapers get away scot-free, so a good few kills there.
Yeah. So that's nice. A little bit of chip damage there for Polt. FireCake lost a good cluster of drones there. Polt had to put a lot of resources into making that many Reapers early on.
So what is this? Where is Polt heading with this build? So double engineering bay, and he doesn't have a factory on the way? Yeah. Is this what I'm seeing here?
Yeah, it's just straight Marauders and Marines at the moment with Stim. Double engineering bay? Wow.
The good old 2 engineering bay before factory build.
Ah, yeah, vintage.
He's getting ready for a push. So the 2 engineering... He piled a lot of resources into those 2 engineering bays, into the factory, and he's kind of lining this up with a push already. I feel this push could be quite a bit bigger, or if he invested in an earlier combat shield, it would have been synced up with this,
I don't know if he can hold this 3rd hatchery against what's coming out here. There's 8 roaches, but they are split up. Looks like he's going to bowl them together now. If they come all together, he definitely has a shot.
2 Reapers is still enough to deal quite a bit of damage, so he has to continuously save his main base.
Polt's giving himself an opening here.
Oh, he certainly has, and that's a just finished hatchery here. This is really nice timing by Polt, and it isn't just because he had this army out, surprisingly. It's because of that Reaper, what that Reaper's achieving on the other side of the map.
And FireCake's he has to let it go. There's nothing he can do about this. Polt didn't even stim. He's like, oh, I can stim if I need to, but he doesn't. He just A-clicked on the hatchery and down it went, and FireCake's been knocked back to 2 hatcheries. Polt's got got 2 bases rocking around pretty nicely here, and FireCake's, I think, has just been caught unawares.
Totally unawares. Who does this? I don't really know a Terran that's done this in my life. Yeah, so Polt's... He's not just playing standard here in this series. We're seeing a very different Polt, but he still shares all the old characteristics of just being patient, of being calm. But
he has 21 Marines already, and he's moving across the map here. to possibly do some pretty critical damage. He wants to try and get the third again, obviously, but...
he has no fear. He's a map with no fear.
Wow.
If you run across the map with this kind of army and you're against any number of Ling Baneling, holy cow, you're going to die.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have medevacs or any support like that. It's very, very tough to... I mean, every stim is doing a lot of damage to you.
Yeah, and Polt, he's just playing careful here. He's looking if there was like another hatchery going up, but no, it's just the same old one. FireCake just wants to force a stim here if he possibly can, but look at Polt. He's waiting for those upgrades to finish, and finish soon they will. And that is quite a few extra units in those medevacs. So Polt, he's going to start testing FireCake's multitasking here.
1-1 is done. 1-1 finishing up for FireCake as well, though, so some reasonably beefy roaches. A lot of buy from the Terran and a few roaches from FireCake. A little bit of a dance going down here. Neither player really diving too hard. Polt's scanning now, and he looks like he wants to pick a fight. FireCake's got that concave, though.
Luckily for FireCake, the 1-1 did finish, and he's waiting on his roach speed upgrade, but there's no vision there. There's no vision for those medevacs getting into the main base.
And Polt is in the main base with quite a few units here, and these ones with medevac support can stim their lives away, and all of FireCake's units are out of position. They're just coming back now. 4 roaches, not enough to pick this fight.
I tell you what, though, it was lucky that he had any units there, because that would have been a lot of dead drones. So while he's making the main army of Polt run away, he's losing this fight over here. He's lost a lot of roaches.
He's going to be, well, I mean, Polt's pulling out now, but it looked like he was about to start losing queens there, which would have been pretty rough considering he doesn't have that much lava without that third hatch. Well, the third hatchery is done now, but he lost it early. He's just got the 1.
Oh, that was very nice and cost efficient by Polt. This unit resources loss tab, very much so in favor of Polt at this point in time. And that's with losing all those Reapers early game too. So you can tell that Polt's in pretty decent nick here.
Yeah, and he's going for another drop by the looks of things, with still another dropship worth of units over here. And FireCake pulling back. Still just on roach tech. He's got lair, obviously. He has 2-2 on the way.
Tunneling claws on the way.
Tunneling claws. This is cool.
Oh,
will it come into play though? Oh, FireCake knows about this one. He's batting Polt away from the main at least.
Okay, this was nice. And the medevacs, they aren't. Oh, in fact, he has so many medevacs. I was going to say the medevacs aren't with this bottom army, but yes, they are. And if these two armies join up and collide and take on FireCake, he could deal a lot of damage here.
He's just taking away some creep trim. Is really, I mean, the creep spread of FireCake would have been pretty sweet, but he's been denying so much creep.
So many scans being used on this creep, though, and Polt, he's kiting away with this army. He's going for the main with that army, and the other army is going for the third. So Polt trying to do exactly what he does, but FireCake, he's meeting him at every turn. So
yeah,
really good play by both of them here.
Yeah, Polt definitely trying to tax the multitask of FireCake, but FireCake split off the right amount of units for the main and for the fourth. +2. 2-2 is about to finish for FireCake, and he has a significant upgrade advantage for a little while here. That said, Polt has tanks on the way with a big reinforcement of Marines.
That is a huge army, but now we have tunneling claws on the way, and also it's going to be 2-2 against 1-1. I believe Polt only was upgrading. In fact, he started his armor late, but that is definitely a significant window where FireCake can deal damage. And he knows he hasn't got a third base, so FireCake knows there's going to be a huge army attacking him pretty soon.
Yep, he's been pooping creep over there for a little while. There's the tunneling claws roaches. They want to get those siege tanks.
He sees
and
the
here
army.
They come.
He sees the army.
And up he pops! FireCake sprung the trap! Does he have enough? He has the upgrade advantage still! And Polt has to give up and pull back by the looks of things. There's just way too much Zerg!
It's way too much Zerg, Maynard, and here he picks up and gets out of there, and he's going to start dealing counterattack damage, and FireCake, he has to read this well. How's he splitting his army up?
Looks like he might be sending a good chunk of those roaches towards Polt's base over here. As Polt takes a drop and tries to use the terrain for his advantage with the siege tank, it gets targeted down by the roaches. Polt maybe not looking at his army just now stimming and trying to pick a fight here. Is 2-2 done for Polt now?
I believe
just
it's
finishing
just finishing
up with the +2 armor.
Look at FireCake amidst all this. He's getting a fourth base in the bottom right as well. Bit of a ninja base. But Polt comes in here for this third. A very, very naked third. Is FireCake going to get there in time? Ah! Doesn't look like it. Oh my gosh.
And the hatchery gets taken out. Polt is very broke though. Funkin showed us that this main is just about mined out. 2 very, very light patches left with no third. Polt needs to end the game with what he's got.
I don't think there's any Ravagers on the map to deal with these Liberators, so these are going to cause some problems here, actually. Way more than they should. Oh, Polt's getting damage done everywhere, it seems. Little drops here and there. This is exactly what he does.
And this is how he's won so many games at these really important tournaments.
Uh-oh. I just saw those drones running for a Liberator, and Oh, there we are. But the Queens are there to assist. So that Liberator has to get out of dodge.
And this big attack from FireCake will need to do something against Polt. Polt has...
the armies are...
That's
another
a big
Marines.
burrow there. He only sees them if they move, and they are moving. He's got the turret here, so he is doing damage to the Roaches, but they are propped up on the siege tanks. 3 siege tanks gone. The Liberator doing damage, but Polt is taking out a hatchery, and FireCake is in the main with a lot of Roaches.
That is a lot of units, and he's going to deal a lot of damage. Yes, he can't shoot up. These Liberators are so annoying being used aggressively against the Zerg player that is FireCake. But Polt dealing so much economic damage. Why is he sitting in the Liberation Zone? He's only fighting with half his army.
Yeah, a lot of his army actually was looking to try and fight a Liberator here. There's a drop from Polt in the main as well. It actually looks like most of FireCake's army is at home. Polt engaging in the main here, and it looks like he's going to clean this up.
Oh man, Polt dealt with this beautifully.
Polt's ahead now.
This game is so crazy. There was so many Roaches, and these Liberators, there was 25 drones that fell while all that was going on. So despite looking pretty good at one point, FireCake is now significantly behind in this game. Doesn't even have a third base up, never mind a fourth.
Yes, indeed. He's trying to... Well, the third is about to pop here, and finally, Polt will be able to clear up this Overlord. And Creep does dissipate quite fast, Legacy Void, so we can get a third CC down soon. There are Mutalisks on the field for the French Zerg.
Oh, if these Mutalisks were out a good 2 minutes earlier, those Liberators wouldn't have dealt a drop of damage. And those drops that they did with the Medivacs, they'd have been cleaned up quite easily too. So it just felt like these Mutas... Oh, and again, damage being done.
He's not taking a break here. Polt is just dropping with small groups of units, and that's a very, very low hatchery, by the way. The Harvesters looking like they're even for both players. Both of them have taken significant economical damage.
And you know that Polt's going to come back and go for that hatchery.
Oh, look at this. The Mutas coming in and doing damage to a naked SCV line of the Terran. And Polt just coming up with the Marines to protect the SCVs. He lost 4 to the Mutas.
It's so close still.
Yeah.
Look at these supplies. I haven't seen supplies this close in quite some time when the game's been this scrappy, but FireCake, he's managing to get damage done with these Mutas somehow.
Yeah, they're smelling an opening and trying to get whatever he can done.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if he wants to scan for that one queen.
The dilemma, right? Do I really want to get the queen?
Yeah.
I kind of do.
It would be nice, but looks like he's got 2 full dropships here. FireCake with a lot of units, though.
But he's not quite in position here. A few drones are falling. The rest of the army does join. So still, he's staying alive. 130 supply in favor of FireCake, but they are Roaches after all.
And the Mutas actually aren't at, dealing with the Medivacs. They've been doing economical damage to Polt, which is okay because he actually needs to keep doing that. Now they're here. And he's got 8 more Mutas on the way as well, so he's going to have a significant anti-Medivac force happening here, which is great because Medivacs and Liberators have really been tough for him to deal with for this, the entire game.
They've been the bane of his existence, Maynard, but here, Polt's moving in with a huge army to the third base.
Marines.
Oh, it looks like Polt likes hatcheries just as much as he likes Nexi at this point in time.
And that Spire's going to go down. I mean, it has +1, but, I mean, FireCake did get a lot of Mutas out. There is a good chunk of them here, and he still has plenty of Roaches around on the ground, but Polt has a very significant force, and a couple Liberators still alive as well.
Polt's so efficient, man. Like, one thing that he does better than any other Terran, and he consistently does it, he strings you around with one hand and does real damage with the other. He's a real puppet master in the way that he plays. Oh, but that is a nice trick by FireCake, forcing the load up, waiting with the Mutas, but the Marines are unloading in time.
They are indeed. He lost a good chunk of Mutas there, losing Mutas at this point. The Loki Econ stages are obviously pretty devastating. He's long distance mining at this third. He has 10 more drones, but Polt in the main again, finding another opening in FireCake's weak. He found another weakness here. He's taking out more drones, 5 going down. And
he's pouring salt in the wound at this point.
Absolutely. And the Mutas are doing econ damage as well, but I mean, there is still a large army of Polt to deal with.
And yeah, FireCake's dealing SCV damage here, sure, but there's turrets in the mineral lines now, and Polt, he's catching up in supply, and these upgrades that are going, they are almost completed here.
And FireCake hasn't retaken his third there. He's actually taking it a little bit, so normally you take a fourth.
Seems a little distressed here. He's not mining that well at all, and yes, 3-3 is almost complete. More Liberators being added. One thing that did change in Legacy of the Void, Terran have an air unit that really, really melts Mutalisks, and the Liberator count already at 4 here.
Yeah, so he's going to go up to 6 Liberators, which is pretty much the money amount of Liberators you want against the guy that's going Mutalisks, and then pumping the rest into Marines, which are 3-3 upgraded any second now. And that is going to be tough for FireCake to deal with. This big ball of Stim Marines with plenty of medevac support are tearing apart FireCake's Roaches here.
The Roaches, they're trying to run away. They finally get to Crete where they do have a little bit of better speed, but a nice little counterattack by FireCake. Is this going to force Polt back? No. He's got another army waiting for them. Lots of Liberators. Even if the Mutas did join and help out, they couldn't. They'd evaporate against those Liberators right now.
Yeah, there's way too many Liberators, and in fact, they are getting quite close to them. He needs to take it very easy, does FireCake. He's getting whatever he can done for free, but I mean, the Liberators are on the chase, and the Liberators isn't a slow unit. They're not as quick as the Mutas, but they are quite fast. So you can't start a step too much.
There is not a unit that these Mutas want to fight on the map right now. It's mass Marine and it's mass Liberator.
And it's 3-3 Marines now. Plenty of medevac energy left over for the Stims. And once again, FireCake comes in with a pretty paltry force of Mutas now. It's getting very light. And Polt coming up here to get the 3rd hatchery again, albeit in a different spot. Does not matter. He has the concave on the high ground. He's even taking corrosive pile damage, but it just doesn't matter. He has way too much. Stimming down the ramp, decimating what's left of FireCake's forces.
And FireCake now, he's at half the supply of Polt. Not looking fresh, not looking good right now. 6 Roaches are barreling around, trying to get damage done, but what can be done? Polt's got locked down on this map. He's denied mining so hard, and he's also kept mining going. Really, really nice play by Polt this game.
Absolutely, and he is ready to put the death blow onto the French Zerg.
93 Marines on the map right now.
My God.
Oh, half the Roaches are burrowed, so they're not even fighting, and GG.
Polt gets himself the 2nd map, taking the lead in the series, 2-1.
Wasn't easy, though.
No. That was
Definitely.
actually, the early to mid game was very precarious for Polt, indeed. Like, FireCake was definitely ahead at one point. But
huge on burrowing on the army, picking off most of the all the tanks but one. And the Terran army then had to fly around. But what decision-making by Polt there? A lot of Terrans would have picked up, flown back home, and had to defend the Roach All-in, which would then left him on just one base mining, which was his natural, which would also mine up pretty soon. I really like his decision-making that game by Polt.
Absolutely. A bit of a masterclass in TvZ there on how to come back and use those comeback tools for Terran. And guys, this series is extremely exciting. We cannot wait for game number 4. We're going to take a short break, but when we get back, we'll see it unfold between Polt and FireCake. G'day guys, welcome back to Polt versus FireCake. Could not be more excited for map number 4, man.
It's been a crazy series. Not one of these games has been, oh yeah, that's totally standard. Every game's been very, very weird.
Like scrappy and like both players being beaten, bloodied and bruised and like picking themselves like that, like those movies where they're all like destroyed and they're broken arms and they're like still throwing punches
like
at each
a
other.
Rocky movie.
Yeah, like a Rocky.
And they're both to blame as well. It's not just like one player being weird. Like it's not a Haas situation where he just brings the game to his own realm. They're both being extraordinary in the series. Polt on that game especially, 3-Rax Reaper into, hey, I'm going to follow it with a big bio push to cancel your third. Very, very strange play, but I'm loving it from both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been pretty intense. Lots of action, that's for damn sure. And the real story is, can the Frenchman win the next 2 maps, cause an upset here, and get himself into Spodek Arena?
FireCake's very good. He's one of these players that had a bad rep with Swarm hosts, drawing hard of the Swarm, but since then, Legacy of Void, I think at one point he called himself Stefano 2.0, but no, he's very good and he's a smart player as well, which is always handy to have. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it must be happy to have him on your team.
I'm wounded this game. Polt's obvious. He's any Terran player's hero. FireCake, my teammate, 1-2 down currently. But you can never be sad about Polt winning. He's just such a good player.
He is, and he's a wonderful guy as well. I mean, you always see him in interviews. He's always smiling. He's just seems like has that positive mindset. And he streams a lot actually these days as well. Or he used to stream.
Yeah, he steals my time.
Which you're clearly not bitter about at all.
No, not at all. I get to watch him play. I'm great about it.
That's right. What's up, Katowice? All you guys out there. Hope this series has been pretty good. It's only the start of the round of 8 too.
First game of the round of 8.
First series.
Man. And where do we go from here? Is this series going to keep on going crazy?
Well, so far it's been
supply.
pretty consistent. 3 games of pretty nuts stuff.
200 supply, burrowed roach. Hey, I'm going to unburrow under you and kill your army. That was really cool.
That is quite Stefano, actually, when you mentioned Stefano 2.0.
Yeah, certainly is. He defended... In fact, when I think about all the things that went badly, that Polt did so well that game, it's kind of... I'm very curious how it ended up in such a... Oh, bad situation for Polt, but Polt, he looks like he's getting really ready there, and he hopefully will be entering the game pretty darn soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Be interested to see what map we come up with next, and there it is.
Oh.
Ruins of Ceres.
Look at these positions
Yeah,
made
these
on.
spawns. Let's talk about that in a second. First, we'll introduce here the French Zerg with the pause.
Ooh, tactical.
Tactical pause. Get inside his brain.
That's what we do. I told him, hey man, you're going to tactical pause him, then you're going to queen drop him.
If Polt's on match point, just do a tactical pause, get him rustled, get him triggered.
There are players that have done things like this.
I know. It's really disgusting.
We've talked about this. It's like, hey, tactical pause, need the bathroom. It's like, whoa, man, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But, hey, you do whatever you can to get into your player's head. But that is not what FireCake's doing.
No, this is illegitimate, but we're just kidding around.
But these positions, anyhow, Maynard. North and south, vertical spawns between these 2 players.
Yeah,
we did see earlier in the series, Arena, close air positions, what FireCake is capable of. And if you see just little things in your opponent's build that you can do and you can get away with, hey, that very well an option here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, close air means that once you know that you're close air against a Terran opponent as a Zerg player, you're going to be like, well, you know, do I have something creative for this for a Terran that's very, very, very strong? I mean, like you said, it could be a repeat of Arena, which would be pretty nice, but...
It would be lovely.
Yeah.
I always love a good 2-2, and then the final game means absolutely everything.
I won 5 games in the best of 5, man.
And how much money are we talking about at this point in time? How much have these players actually earned? Is $8,000 thus far?
I think so, yeah. It would be just about that. Okay, so if they reach the top 4, 10K. So they are on 8 right now.
$8,000 these guys have been guaranteed in this game, but right now it's not even about money. Everybody walks away a pretty rich man, but going ahead, they want to win at this point in time. FireCake, he came 3rd, he came 2nd. This is the next tournament in line. He wants a 1st place, but Polt, he never walks into a tournament and thinks, second would be pretty nice.
Yeah. I'd be happy with round of 16, to be honest. I don't think he's...
I don't think he's that kind of chappy.
No, I don't think so.
He doesn't come here for the money. He comes here for the pride, the victory, the
Yeah.
love of it all.
The glory, the points, and of course a seed in that BlizzCon at the end of the year, the global finals.
And that trophy that's probably just as big as Polt.
I would say that trophy is probably 3/4 of his weight. So
Yeah.
it'd be interesting if he has to hold that at the end of tomorrow. But that's we're getting ahead of ourselves. Maybe not. Maybe
Calm
so.
down,
Yeah,
Maynard. Calm down.
Calm down. And let's get into the game. Looks like whatever problem it was is... Whoop.
We are in different positions this game
Okay,
too.
well, everything we talked about doesn't matter anymore. Let's do the intros in the bottom left here. This is FireCake. And in now long spawns here, cross positions. This is Polt.
There's two ways to go about thinking about this. If you're FireCake, in fact, Zerg mentality has always been the further away I spawn from my opponent, the better. It gives me more time to macro up. But with the amount of cheese available for a Zerg, if I asked FireCake, would he be sad about this situation that he's in, where he was spawning close air? I'd imagine he would be sad about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a pretty cheeky boy, and he can be very aggressive when you're that close. But, yeah.
I'm just going to make random noises like you. But yeah, FireCake, I can't imagine he'd be too happy about this. But again, that's what I mean. Zergs, they usually like to be as far away. So on this map in particular, it's good to be close air, I suppose, for the Queen Ling Drop build. But it's also good to be as far away as you can possibly be. I mean, Terrans, they still pride themselves on that tier 2 harass while you build up, you slow down your Zerg opponent, then you attack and do an all-in or some sort.
Yeah, the Overlord's FireCake looking for his opponent, and just a Reaper expand here from Polt. I mean, it's a big map. You want to see where your opponent is as quickly as possible.
You know, you don't often see Terrans use the SCV to scout, and the Reaper doesn't know exactly where his opponent is, but this is one of the things that FireCake's benefited from in the series, that he's playing a series. He's done weird things this game. If this Reaper went to the wrong base first, and FireCake went for some one-base Baneling all-in, for example, game over, man, game over. You like it?
Yeah, oh man, these movie references, so sick. So we got the I guess with the SCV scout and with the Reaper, you get to see where your opponent is obviously a lot earlier or as quickly as possible, and he is about to see it. With the Overlord here, he knows where FireCake is.
Now, not scouting in for the main, whereas 99% of situations you don't bother because the natural, it's all going to be given away. There's going to be a hatchery, but in that one off chance, if you didn't scout the main and he was just saving Zerglings in there or something, you're in a lot of trouble. I've had that happen to me on the ladder before.
Yeah, I think all of us have. The Reaper coming in here for a look-see, just doing a little bit of a damage to the Queen. Nothing really to talk about here, but he is going to try and see what's going on in the tech.
So this Reaper didn't really get to see too much. You get to see, hey, okay, this guy, he's doing pretty normal stuff. Whoa, this lair, very early. And look how careful FireCake is being about his denial of scout.
Yeah.
One thing about this map too, this Reaper can only get into the main base by going up that main ramp. You can't actually jump up those little cliffs into the main base there.
Yeah, you're actually quite right. It's not a good Reaper map.
Oh, you see it, Maynard. Roach Warren, Extractors going down. We're seeing some cheeky FireCake here.
We are, and it's just been one of those series, man. And the real tell is, will it pay off or will it be battered away by Polt?
I do like how Polt's handling himself so far, though. We have tank production on the way, double reactor marine production, bunker down as well, and a safe wall. He's not placing it too far ahead.
This kind of looks like Nidus, but I mean, yeah, there it is, the Nidus Worm going down.
He is such a cheeky guy, but will this work against tanks that are already out?
He just loves his fromage. Look at another Reaper coming up here. Oh, don't lose it.
He's seen
He
it.
sees the Nidus. A huge scouting tell there. The one thing he wanted to see was that. And now he's got all the information he needs. Siege tank on the way and dropping a bunker in the main, no doubt. You can see it in production there.
Okay, I've got to ask myself, and I'm going to ask FireCake's shaking his head because he knows.
He's a salty salmon now.
And he's got to, and realistically, we talked about, hey, how easy it is to deny that Reaper Scout because it can only go up that ramp. Why would you then put your Nidus at the bottom of it?
it's questionable.
It's just one of those things that it's sad that it's worked out this way, but you have to wonder. And he was kicking himself for it. Now where is he going to plant this Nidus? Is he just going to slam it into that production?
Well, there's a Liberator on the way, which are pretty amazing against Nidus. The tank evac with the Marines are coming through, and he sees the bunker in the main. Is he even going to drop this worm? It is going to be right there in front of that bunker. And he's just going to pull SCVs. The Liberator's about to pop out. The tank is already in position. Marines are already here. I don't know if this is going to do too much.
No, and that is the saddest queen that has ever walked in a Terran base. Man, that got shut down. Now what does FireCake do?
He's like, well, I mean, I have all these roaches.
Oh,
I've
no.
taken a hit in my harvest because I use my lava to make units.
Oh no, you're 2-1 down, Maynard, and your cheese gets scouted.
And it's match point.
I don't know what to say. Do I laugh? Do I cry? I'm going to do both.
Yeah, we're going to cry laugh here from the Muslim. We have to give him a little of a break here. He's a little emotionally taxed. You can see that there is another worm here out of vision in the natural. This could potentially do a bit here. I mean, Polt does have tanks, a Liberator, and a fair bit of Marines and a nice little wall-off. And he's already sieging the Liberator as well.
I love how he's positioned his Liberator, by the way. A lot of people try to get too cocky with the Liberator, and they render it very, very vulnerable. But here, he's just using it to defend this bunker.
Yeah, he's covering the bunker. That's covering the roach range here. And pulling SCVs, obviously sees it with the creep. He knows the worm is here, and he's got a drop ready for the main as well.
And look at this. The Ravager, to get rid of those Liberators too, has to run into range of the tanks, as well as the Liberator itself and the bunker. So it's just really, really... that. Polt's so well set up, though. This bunker in the main, the tank behind the bunker forming a wall almost. And look, he's moving over his SCVs. He's ready for it.
And the worm has gone out through the main. A lot of the roaches are getting in here on top of the production. Does Polt have enough to hold? He's pulled the SCVs. They are repairing bunker. Unfortunately, the tank kind of blocking for a full surround, but he does have enough to be able to repair the bunker through the roach DPS.
Oh, sick dodge with that tank. And he's even dropping on the other side of the map too. But FireCake is actually dealing with that pretty well. Polt's supply is really dwindling.
Yeah, he lost 22 SCVs to Muslim.
What is going on? Is FireCake going to do this? There's still units in the natural for Polt. He's not really dealing with this as best as he can here. Look at that. He's got 2 tanks doing
these tanks can be helping out so much. The Liberator is just covering the ramp as well. And this bunker is his lifeline here.
I wonder, though, does FireCake realize how much damage he's done? What is the worker count? In fact, it's still so bad for FireCake. And Polt's on 3cc. Oh, it's still a really good hold by Polt.
Yeah, that is a hold for sure. And he's just switching over to the worm in the natural. And trying to get more SCV kills. He did get a ton, but he was at a very huge deficit already.
You know, how good would this have been if it wasn't scouted? FireCake, though, not giving up yet, trying to get tunneling claws. He wants to keep his opponent just on 2 bases here and abuse the fact that he can't expand and use burrow everywhere. Going for a 3rd base? Oh, I mean, you try everything, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's on Polt's on match point. He needs to do something, and being a little bit left of center is FireCake with this very, very cheesy series, and he can do things like take a third hatchery and try and come back that way. Hopefully, Polt just feels like he needs to stay back for a bit, but I doubt that. I think at this point he's going to want to load up and start doing drops and that sort of thing. He has medevacs.
He certainly does, but Polt, how many barracks does he have available producing units? I think he's got 5 barracks.
It's a lot.
That is the perfect number. Especially when you've got 3 CCs available. Units going to pile out non-stop, and FireCake, he's going to be given the choice. And 1-1, I believe, is just completed for Polt too. So FireCake's got the choice here. Do I keep on making units and I die slowly? Or do I go for drones and just die very, very quickly here?
Well, Polt's going to not engage with these roaches, which is smart. I'm going to head out and try and do econ damage instead with the dropships. But he sees, as he flies through, a lot of roaches of FireCake here, and they just finished tunneling claws.
I love how Polt's handling this, by the way. I've got to commend him. He's keeping his tanks at home. He's going to deal damage with these drops. It's just so Polt. It's Polt.
It's quite crisp. He's been holding against the cheeses of FireCake so well in this series. And Burrow just about to finish now for the tunneling claw upgraded roaches.
This is one of those things, when you know you're ahead, there's the whole Artosis quote, get further ahead, but Polt's just playing incredibly safe because he knows he's ahead. He's not even thinking about how to get further ahead, he's just
got
thinking,
a 3rd CC here,
he's not rushing it, and look, is that a turret that's going up in the front too? Look how safe he's being. He knows FireCake better than FireCake knows himself.
reading him like a book, like one of those books that have 3 words on each page with large print.
Oh, look at this too. Dropping into the main. There's no drones at the third, so he knows exactly what's going on. Roach speed has only just started as well.
Yeah, and there's the drone kills here. FireCake really on the ropes here in this series. I don't know if he even has enough to handle what Polt's bringing him right now.
This is without the tanks as well. Keep the tanks at home. Just defend whenever you can. Might be being a little bit leery with these Marines. Does he need just Marines? Marauders would help too, but doesn't matter.
Look at that. He's got 1-1. He's got Stim. He's got 2-2 halfway done as well. And FireCake is all but dead.
Killing me softly, are you, Polt? But man, 133 supply against 73. FireCake, yes, you're denying the third that Polt never needs to take, but you're losing absolutely everything.
Yeah, he doesn't have much to go home to. He's a Roaches without a home. They're out in the middle of ruins of Ceres with nowhere to go. And they can't attack, they can't retreat.
And this soon, it's going to be 2-2 Marines against 0-0 Roaches.
I shuddered.
You shudder? This is the Terran dream, Maynard.
It is, but I know what it feels like because I used to play Zerg and Wings of Liberty.
Oh, really?
I did.
You crazy race switcher. Is this lair also going to die?
It is indeed.
Wow. FireCake. Not looking good, not looking good. Double tank production as well. So Polt's still taking this extremely seriously. But I don't think he knows what kind of a bad situation. In fact, he knows how bad it is.
Just being so safe, but he's extremely ahead. Cannot even stress how far ahead he is right now. FireCake trying to pick an engagement, but these are 2-2 Marines to Muslim. GG! Polt is going to go to Spodek Arena and to that round of 4.
Great play by Polt that series. In that end game, you saw the shake of FireCake's head.
As soon as that Nidus was scouted, the player cam, well done by production by the way, to bring up that player cam immediately as that was scouted with FireCake's shake of the head, and there he is, the smiling Polt, ever cheerful as he gets himself another semi-final. And let's cross over to Polt on the stage with the winner's interview.
Thank you very much. Yes, on the stage right now with Polt. Congratulations on a very fine win indeed. You're through to the semi-finals. I think everyone looking at the bracket would have thought, yep, Polt should reach at least the semi-finals, so perhaps that's job done. But I know that you really want to win this tournament overall.
Yes, as I always said in the interviews I did here, I really want to win this, and I think I have really good possibilities.
Has that confidence grown every time you've played a match? Because you've had quite a tricky bracket.
Yeah, so to be honest, I think my first match was the most tricky one, and after winning that, I think I'm getting more confident again and again. So now, it's literally unstoppable.
Yeah, wow. It looked very unstoppable against a very good Zerg player in FireCake. There are a lot of Zergs left in this tournament. You're the last Terran as well. So does that worry you at all, or does that is that game giving you even more confidence to play anyone?
It's kind of sad there is not any more Terran companion, but I'm still okay with any matchup. So, well, I don't know who will be I'm facing in the next matchup, like Huck or Nurture, but I don't care at all, and I will beat all of them.
Okay. So it's either a Protoss or a Zerg next, but it could be a Protoss, a Zerg, or a Polish player. And it's like the fourth race here. I wondered whether your PV. Well, actually, what would that be? I don't even know. But anyway, what would your matchup against a Polish player be like? What do you think?
Well, I personally don't like to watch TvZ, and if you guys don't want to watch TvZ finals, you know what you need to do.
Okay, well, you know what you're going to do. Polt is safely through to the semi-finals. We'll see him tomorrow in the Spodek Arena. We'll find out who his opponent is next. But first, let's go back to the desk and find out what they made of a superb victory for CM Storm's Polt.
It really was a superb victory by Polt. He finds himself in the semi-finals and also a chance to play for a spot already at the global playoffs at the end of the year. He's made it to Spodek, gentlemen, which is, of course, a fantastic achievement already, but there's a lot more still to come from Polt, I'm sure. And he said it in his interview. The best I think we can just kind of go off is that he's, feeling undefeatable. There's no one really that can stop him.
Oh.
He's going to win it all.
I thought you were talking about the part where he was like, no one wants to watch the TvZ final. No. He's like, if you He's like, you know, the only other chance there is that maybe this becomes the miracle tournament run for Huck, and he prevents the...
Hey, you know, I was just thinking as well, because we were kind of joking, like, there are six Zergs in the quarterfinals. Imagine if Huck wins and Polt wins, then actually we have perfect balance in the semifinals, because then all 3 races would be represented. And obviously one race has to be represented.
One more than the other, though.
Yeah, but that's always the case.
Yeah, the ends justify the means, right?
Either way, I think it was a really good series. I think it was a really good series by Polt. I kind of thought that FireCake was good enough to really give him a good run for his money and maybe even steal the series away from him, but a little too predictable, man. Like in Home Story Cup, he had a lot of success with his Nidus networks, but you also saw MMA figuring it out back then in the final, right? He's like, well, you know, if this is all you're going to do, I just make sure I have enough units. And Polt had enough units, and especially the last game, he even had a bunker on top of his production, you know, so... I don't know, this didn't seem like the right choice of strategy.
Yeah. No, not a good game plan against Polt. Polt, like, very classically delays his third quite a bit and has a lot more units.
He's very known for doing
and
that.
very specifically going Roach against that is, like, your least best chance. The one game it worked was on Yo Arena, which was a completely different strategy, but that drop Ling style in Queen was really cool to see. And then he goes back to... I mean, I'm not saying you should keep doing that forever, because that was obviously a map build order, but just pure Roach against Polt, like, very specifically, if you study your opponent Polt at all, which... He's like one of the most watched players ever, I think. We've seen him in all the tournaments. He makes deep runs in all the tournaments. He qualified. Like, everyone knows Polt. To be like, yeah, I'm just going to keep making Roaches. And gosh, if he goes a lot of drops in Marines, it's going to be rough. But that's what he does.
Yeah, and he always... It's funny, isn't it, how Polt's tournaments, always he feels worse and is seemingly weaker at the start of the tournament and then progressively gets stronger and stronger the later stages of the tournament goes. And is that a pattern again that we're going to be seeing? He's going to be challenging for the title, surely.
So just like we can repeat when he defeated FireCake and Poitier after we played our last scripted response, now the next one becomes, guys, you know, yeah, he might be playing against Hydra in the finals, and it looks like he's probably just going to get stronger as it goes closer to the end and then win it all like he did
Same old story for Polt.
Yeah.
I do think that, by the way, just to go back to the games a little bit, Central Protocol was a very crucial game, I think, in this series. And it really seemed at a certain moment that FireCake was turning in the round with a couple of really good moves with burrowed Roaches. And then at a certain point, you just like make a bunch of Ravagers, you know, like force those Marines to run away. And that's suddenly when the fights become a lot more manageable. But just Roaches, I mean, that's not going to cut it against well-upgraded Bio. But I really like, I mean, that's when it's 1-1 tied up in the series. So game 3, obviously super important. If you go up 2-1, it could have maybe been a different series. So I definitely feel like there were a couple of missed chances on Central Protocol.
As far as strategy goes, I completely agree. Just the range of the Marines, being able to shoot over your Roaches with Ravagers. And, like, he lost so much to the Liberators while pushing through Polt's base. Like, you have Liberators behind your mineral line. It's like, Ravagers completely invalidate that. You pick them off so quickly before they can even unsiege, and he just really, I guess maybe he thought he was ahead, like he kind of recognized that position, and he just tunnel vision. He's like, maybe if I just max out, I can kill him. And
I mean, the fight was badass, you know. With the, I don't know what this tournament is, by the way. It's only we see tunneling claws Roaches all the time, you know, burrowed Roaches. We saw Violet yesterday. I mean, with Violet on runes, that was a very crucial move, and now it almost seemed to work again. It was a really cool ambush on those tanks and getting the nice surround off, but wasn't meant to be. Just pure Roach, not enough.
Sadly not. And that sees Polt go through to the semi-finals, which now leads us into the next quarterfinal. And this is obviously a big one for everyone here in Poland, as Nurcio takes on Huck. We're going to go to a very quick break, and when we return, the second quarterfinal is on its way.
If your PC is dated,